Hey everyone, Brian from All Day Ruckoff here, and today we're talking about rucking with your dog. GORUCK is doing their Ruck Your Dog virtual event again this year. It's the third year they've done it. Benefits Pets for Patriots. It's an awesome event, and so there's gonna be a lot of people out there rucking with their dogs. I've rucked with Watson a ton. He's my pup. Trained for my first heavy event with him, trained for a number of tough events with him, and I acquired a bit of gear that made rucking with him more fun and easier. First things first, we have the leash. This is the leash that he came with when we adopted him from the shelter. It's 2 pieces of rope tied together with a clip on one end, and it creates this thing that you can put around his neck and kind of control him. This is not what you want to be out there rucking your dog with. You're going to have a pack on, it's going to have a weight in it, and if you're going around with some leash like this that I feel bad even calling this thing a leash, and your dog gets out of it, you're going to be trying to chase him down with a weighted ruck on. It's going to be way harder than normal. I did a lot of rucking with the GORUCK leash. It's an awesome leash. It served me well. I'm still using one just like this to this day, the black one. The other leash I got a ton of use out of when I was rucking with Watson was a leash like this. It's a belt that goes around you, and then it attaches to your dog. So you have your hands free, which is nice for when you're rucking because you're able to keep a good pace. You've got your ruck on your back, so you've got even more weight holding you down in the case he tries to run, depending on the size of your dog, if that's an issue or not. Having a good leash is really important because there's nothing worse than being out there walking your dog and having him get out, and on top of that, having weight on your back, you're not able to chase him. It's just not a good time. My second tip is to bring water for your dog. If you're going on a longer ruck, then it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's like going to be a long walk essentially. So you're going to want to bring something for him to drink. For a lot of people who are used to walking their dogs around the block, and then Ruck Your Dog comes around, and all of a sudden they want to take him out for a 4-mile, a 5-mile walk, and the dog hasn't done something like that before. First off, it's important to ease him into it. And second, you're going to want to bring water. There's a couple different options for that. This is a packable dog bowl. So you basically zip it up. You can unzip it, and it creates this dog bowl. So you can fill it with water, fill it with food if you're out there for a really long time, and your dog can eat and drink. What I prefer over that is a pace lid and a Nalgene bottle. If I'm doing longer rucks, I would bring a source bladder for myself, so I'd drink water out of there. I would have this thing filled with water, and then I would use the pace lid for the bowl for Watson. So unscrew the top, take the lid off the pace lid. You basically have a bowl here, pour the water in, let him drink it. Essentially, you're turning your pace lid into a dog bowl, and then you're just using the water from your Nalgene to fill the lid. As soon as I started doing that, I stopped carrying that around. So first piece of advice, quality leash. Second, bring water. Third, bring bags for your dog. Don't be one of those people who goes out there and your dog poops everywhere and you just leave it for someone else to clean up, or for the person who owns the house or wherever it is. Bring bags, and bring enough bags. When I take Watson out on walks around the block, sometimes I'll bring 1 bag, sometimes I forget them, but it doesn't really matter because if he goes, I can always just walk home, grab a bag, and go back. It takes 5 minutes tops to go home, get a bag, and come back and clean it up, so it's not an issue. But if you're going on a long ruck, you're heading maybe 5 miles out, 5 miles back, and that happens when you're out there. Obviously, you're not going to be walking 5 miles back to get a bag, and then going back out to clean it up, and then walking back home. So bring enough bags, know that you could be out there for a little while, and just plan accordingly. It's just like the rule at GORUCK events where you leave no trace, you don't throw your wrappers on the ground, you don't litter. Just be a good person and clean up after your dog. I feel like I'm talking to a lot of GRT here, so I shouldn't really need to say that, but I feel like the point still stands to bring more bags than you think you'll need, because who knows how long you'll be out there. If this is one of the longer rucks you've ever done with your dog, who knows how they'll do. They might go to the bathroom more times than you expect. Anything can really happen, so bring a lot of bags. The fourth tip is to bring food or treats for your dog, depending on the distance. I had an example here, but I gave it to Watson. He was eyeing it up, and I couldn't say no. So no example, but just bring something for them to eat. In case they get hungry, bring a treat because they deserve it. You're probably bringing a granola bar or a protein bar or whatever for yourself. Bring something for them. They're out there rucking too. Bring something to say thank you for rucking. The fifth point I want to touch on is distance. If you have a dog that doesn't do a lot of walking, maybe you walk around the block, he does a half a mile per walk, and you're trying to shoot for one of those bigger distances, 50 miles, 100 miles, your dog is going to get wrecked if you take him out there and start just hammering the miles on him day after day. So just realize that and going into this, be smart and think about it the same way that you think about yourself when you're training. If you're currently out there rucking 4 miles, 8 miles, how's your body going to feel after a star course, a 50-mile event with no proper build up to it? Your dog's pretty much the exact same. So build them up to those bigger distances. Sixth item, have a collar that fits properly. This kind of goes back to having a good leash. Just make sure that your collar's sized properly. It's fitted on there. If he's doing something crazy, it doesn't slip off and he goes running, because again, you'll have weight on and you don't want to be chasing your dog down. Seventh and final item, just have fun. Enjoy the ruck out there with your pup. Make it more about spending time with your dog than about beating whatever pace that you might be doing solo. Rucking with dogs is different than rucking alone. And as long as you realize that and go into it with those expectations, you're going to have a ton of fun doing this Ruck Your Dog event. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and you picked up 1, 2, maybe 7 tips to help you get out there and ruck your dog. Even if you learned one thing from this, I still consider that a success, because rucking with your dog, especially at bigger distances, is different than walking with your dog and rucking alone. If you're not registered for GORUCK's Ruck Your Dog event yet, check out the description. Got links in there. They've got the 5-mile distance, which is a free patch. Pretty awesome. And if you're in the continental US, they'll pay postage to get it to you too. Then they've got the 10-mile, 20-mile, 50-mile, 75, and 100-mile distances as well. All of that benefits Pets for Patriots, awesome charity. So figure out your distance, register, and have a good time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Truly appreciated. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe. A lot more rucking related content coming. Thank you so much for all the incredible support. And don't forget, attitude is everything. Keep yours positive and drink hard, ruck harder.